Next, I would like to invite Professor Daisuke Araya. He is the professor of Keio University. So, Professor Daisuke Araya is the professor of Keio University, and his title is again on the blockchain and related to the application side, gift economy. Title is Gift Economy Fostering Global Trust Through Blockchain. So, please welcome to Professor Daisuke Araya. Floor is yours.
Thank you for kind introduction. And I'm a philosopher who thinks things which people take for granted and think natural. So this criticizing the things, natural things. For example, the why world is, or the why we exchange with money, the what is value. We don't think normally. We don't think about these things because it's very natural, and we use normally, and we cannot examine the means. But the philosophers think about that problem, and now I'm thinking about the economy system, or what is value. And I'd like, Kotaro-san said, ask you the question, why do you need, really do you want to need the blockchain? But I think the blockchain is a revolutionary solution for human beings, and it's connected with my presentation and rethinking the what is values. So the topic is Gift Economy 2.0, and that is very new concept that I'm working on, and that seeks to translate the economy by using trust as its medium. So first, we will discuss why putting monetary value on the gratitude can be problematic, and what challenge arise from this approach. Next, I will give you an overview of Gift Economy 2.0 comparative to the traditional gift economy. Then I will briefly walk you through the platform applications, showing how it works and how you can participate. So let's diving in. The main forms of value tied to trust continue to play a crucial role in our lives today. Domestic labors, caregiving, and the acts that foster gratitude are trust-based value that sustain human relationships, yet they cannot be directly compensated with money. Similarly, corporate activities that address social issues play an important role in promoting ESG initiatives. Companies today are encouraged to engage in actions that benefit society, and the term impact investment has become increasingly relevant. Investors now actively consider how companies address social issues when making decisions. They reflect the growing needs for the businesses to pay closer attention to their societal impact. This shift highlights the increasing expectation for businesses to contribute a more sustainable capitalist economy. However, there are ways to measure a company's efforts to address social problems. These methods remain indirect and lack clear definitions. For instance, the Keidanren Japan Business Federation publishes an impact index to evaluate corporate contributions. However, there's no standard definitions of what constitutes contributions, leaving room for arbitrary interpretations. Compared to economic indicators such as profit margins, these metrics are vague and do not function as reliable benchmarks. As a result, assessing the value of corporate activities that address social issues remains a complex challenge. So how we can evaluate this socially essential value? More often than not, methods that convert such value into monetary terms are used for evaluations. For example, some companies have introduced systems where employees evaluate acts of mutual support among colleagues by assessing points. These points can be redeemed at an in-house cafe, for example, or incorporated directly into their performance reviews. Such initiatives are already being implemented in several organizations, Google or some famous companies implemented that system. However, it is well known that assessing monetary value to acts of generosity can undermine their intrinsic worth. For example, a daycare center implemented a fine system to address the issue of parents frequently being late for pickups for children. By introducing a monetary penalty, the aim was to discourage tardiness by creating financial disincentives. The result, however, revealed an unintended consequence. Parents become even more likely to arrive late. Why? Because before the system was introduced, parents often felt guilty about being late and were psychologically motivated to be on time. The introduction of the fine system reduced that sense of guilty as parents began to perceive tardiness as something that they could pay for. This example shows how putting a price on relationship can actually change their nature. The value of social actions is not always reductive to money. That's why these kinds of value should be acknowledged or appreciated within the spirit of the gift economy. So what is the gift economy? I'm currently working on the gift economy 2.0, which represents the new iteration of the traditional gift economy. But before diving into the new versions, it is important to first revisit the traditional gift economy. The gift economy is a system in which people provide goods and services out of generosity rather than trade. This system is known to foster an incentive to give others, sometimes even leading to competitive gifting, where individuals or groups strive to surpass one another in their act of generosity. They want to give more and more as possible because there are incentives to give. Marcel Mauss, a French anthropologist from the early 20th century, analyzed the structure of the certain pre-modern societies and described their economic systems. What most reveals was that in pre-modern societies, the creation of psychological sense of debt in others served as an incentive for act of giving. The sense of guilt or sense of indebtedness grow with each act of giving, gradually accumulating like a form of capital, just as the financial capital generates more with wealth in capitalism. This social capital generated by gift leads to an escalating burden of obligations, where the growing sense of debt or sense of guilty make people feel increasingly pressure to give in return. The more someone gives, the more they build up a web obligation, giving them more influence over others. Over time, the accumulation of these acts of giving contributes to the formation of hierarchical system, as it did in the development of feudal system. Those who gave the most gains higher social status and ended up with more people under their influence. Since the hierarchy was rooted in the psychological burden of having to return in a favor, people's subordination to those in power was seen as a natural obligations, much like the idea that borrowed money must be repaid. Mose and his successors have sought to present the traditional gift economy as a viable alternative to the capitalist economy. However, it is evident that the system does not function as they have envisioned, revealing the inherent limitations. The trust embedded in gift economy 1.0, the traditional economy, served as a social bond, but it also operated as a mechanism of domination. But we can hack the mechanism of that gift economy to develop a system that is better suited to the contemporary economies. How? By simply recording the act of giving on a blockchain. This ensures that the tamper-proof data of each act is securely stored as an event. The history of users, these acts, then forms the foundation of trust in an individual. Suppose Alice does something for Bob. In Gift Economy 2.0, Bob does not need to feel indebted. He feels guilty to Alice. He only needs to express his gratitude through the application, which records the act on a public blockchain. Thank you for Alice. That is very bad. The gifts are offered unconditionally as free gifts with no assurance of reciprocation or specific obligation. But Alice's gift is truly unconditional, and Bob feels no psychological sense of debt. Does not make it meaningless? No. Alice's gift does not result in a financial loss for her. Instead, it acts as a form of investment within the gift economy 2.0. That increases the likelihood that Alice might receive a gift from someone else in the future. If people who see her records on the blockchain recognize her as a trustworthy person, it functions as social capital that can open up new relationships. Well, let's consider a more concrete example. Since January 2024, our project has been conducting a social experiment in the town of Koenji, Tokyo, Japan. As a part of this experiment, participants operate a cafe. But what makes it unique is that it is entirely sustained by the act of giving from all involved, including the building owner. No one derives any financial profit from the cafe. Instead, it is run purely through voluntary contributions. As a cafe, it does it does generate revenue by selling beverage, but the money is used to help building owner pay off the loan on the property. The cafe is located in the prime spot in the shopping district in Koenji, where a owner could normally charge a high rent under typical capitalist scheme. However, the cafe's earnings are far from sufficient to cover the loan. So that means the owner has to make up the difference out of their own pocket. In other words, the building owner is also contributing as an act of giving, not to earn rent, but to sustain the space itself. One of the participants, a tattoo artist who has his own studio, who saw the situation, decided to move into the basement of the building where the cafe operates to help cover the rent. Even though it was less convenient and live with the owner in the same building. He thought that by paying rent, he could help keep the space running, so that this was his way of giving. For about a year, around 20 people have been participating in this experiment, each contributing in their own way to sustain space. What's crucial is that these participants do not necessarily see each other as comrades or form a tightly knit community. Many of them originally came as customers and later got involved, and some participants don't even know and greet each other. Despite this, the people continue to find meaning in their act of giving because they can feel their contribution function as a form of a social credit. Whether they work as unpaid staff for the cafe, take out the trash, clean the space, and bring homemade meals for the members, each act of generosity connects people in new ways and is recognized as a form of social value. This recognition enables them to sustain their giving, even if it does not directly translate into monetary gain. The records of gratitude of Alice prove who she is and what kind of relationships she has had with others. Some people may use their Facebook posting history or LinkedIn as a kind of business card, but it's likely to be embellished and not entirely trustworthy, because they can embellishment that history. But you cannot control how others appreciate you. And the data recorded on public blockchain logs the act of giving exactly as it occurred. In this way, act of giving contributes to build the giver's social credit. The more you give, the more opportunity you have to receive gifts. This leads to competitive race to give, where individuals aim to give as much as possible, actively seeking opportunity to others something meaningful, so without any domination. However, some people might think that expressing gratitude for every single act of giving is too much trouble. They might argue that real trust is built when giving to each other becomes natural, and that saying thank you every time could not actually make things feel awkward or distant. But is that really true? Showing respect might be even more important in close relationships. A good example for relationship based on the giving is family. In families, acts of giving are often seen as normal and expected, so people might feel saying thank you is unnecessary. But the idea of normal can sometimes create an unhealthy dependence. For example, should things like housework or taking care of elderly family members always be considered just a family duty? Many people are sure that everyone in family understands what is expected as a family. But in reality, some people might feel they are being treated unfairly. To make sure that domestic work is properly valued, it is important to show appreciation at the right moment. If gratitude is recorded on the blockchain, it can become part of the person's social credit. Similarly, sometimes people feel stuck in community because they are afraid that all their past contributions will be forgotten if they leave the community. So they can stuck to the unhealthy community. But if their contributions are recorded as personal credit on the blockchain, they won't have to stay in unsustainable relationships, just protect their past efforts. By stopping people from taking relationships for granted and exploiting them, and instead encouraging both sides to maintain the healthy relationship, we can build real trust. Rather than limiting giving to only certain relationships, recognizing it as a social value can help create a culture where more people naturally want to give. As mentioned earlier, relationships built through act of giving are always personal and connected to the specific place. However, records of gratitude for these acts remains as objective data. They are not limited to local relationship. They can be recognized on a global scale. The credit you accumulate within your community become a value that is recognized whenever you go in the world. You can move beyond your local community and use your record as a way to build trust with others, no matter where you are. Imagine meeting someone for the first time and receiving their business card. On it, there is a QR code that links to their Gift Economy 2.0 profile. By scanning that QR code, you can see their history of giving and get the sense of whether they are trustworthy. People with a strong record of giving will have more chance to build a new connection and benefit from the gift economy. The system encourages people to give. Since the act of generosity were recorded, they have an extra reason to give freely without expecting anything in return. How can you participate in Gift Economy 2.0? How can there's no social commitment. There are no special commitments for participating in Gift Economy 2.0. You can think of it as just another social network services. The only difference is that some part of you are interactive with others are recorded on the blockchain. Application is set to be released this April. Since we have this opportunity, I would like to give you a brief explanation of how it works. So normally, using blockchain services require a crypto wallet as Kotaro-san says, but with a public blockchain address. However, by using this service Blockto, a user-friendly wallet solutions, people can participate with just email authentication without needing a separate wallet setups like this. That's my email address, and wait a moment. That's passcode. Back to the application and like that. Then I can log in the applications. On the home screen, after logging in, users see timelines of posts from people they followed. Their posts are similar to tweet on X, but instead of simply sharing personal thoughts, they are more directly messages to followers, focusing on what users can give and what they need to help. Although this app is not in use, I can share a real-life example from a cafe run by our project members. During one of their meetings, someone said, it's just directly related to the cafe, but I need to ask for help. He had decided not to renew their apartment lease due to the plan to move. But his work is very busy, and with the lease ending soon, he hadn't found the new place yet. He had nowhere to store his furniture. In this case, one of the cafe members happened to have extra space in their office, and he was able to store his furniture there. However, from this April, such requests will be posted on the app instead. This is because in this case, we are lucky that someone in group happened to have space to store his luggage, but there could be times when no one in the group is able to help, even if they want to help. If the requests are posted on the application, followers could help directly or amplify the request using re-extend, a function similar to the retweeting, just like that. Retweets, that's sorry, that's the application is not working, and the demo version I made is destroyed this morning, so I fixed up earlier, but so sorry for that. Unlike retweets, the re-extend is specially designed to help connect people in need with those who can assist. Even if someone cannot help directly, the re-extend may spread the request to someone else who can. If people keep re-extending, the request may eventually reach the right person. As mentioned earlier, Gift Economy 2.0 provides incentives for giving, which means people have a real reason to help. The gratitude expressed by the person who receives help become part of the giver's social credit. In fact, even on existing social media platforms, similar acts of kindness sometimes happen. For example, there have been cases where someone posted about mistakenly ordering too much inventory for their store, and people helped by buying small amounts to reduce their burden. However, businesses later started using this idea as a marketing tactic, which made people skeptical about similar posts. In Gift Economy 2.0, an account history served as a foundation of trust, or can be digital ID, I think, making fraud difficult. Since past contributions are visible as a tamper-proof data, people can check a user history before deciding whether to help them. Suspicious accounts, such as newly created ones, those repeatedly making similar requests, are easily to notice. On the other hand, if someone who have been genuinely active and responsible in the community suddenly face a crisis, people will be more likely to help. The ability of the social media to spread information across different communities is expected to play a key role in making the gift economy work efficiently. Of course, you can also chat privately via direct message, like that. And it is also disordered like that. But yeah, sorry for that. You can search for users and find person who you want to message and send them a message along with the heart using this button. And like that, the message, thank you for the and yeah, some indicator I made it up, but skipped and checked. Yeah, that button recorded the message on the blockchain. Like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the message on the blockchain displayed the profile, and we can decide whether she can trustworthy or not. Like that. Okay. Oops. To sum up, we've looked up why putting a price on gratitude can cause problem and how gift economy 2.0 offer a different approach. One's where act of giving help build trust and cooperations. This is not just an idea. The platform we've created will launch this April, making it possible for anyone to join this new economy where gratitude is recorded, trust grows, and giving happens naturally. I encourage you all to explore these new possibilities. Giving is more than just an action. Giving is more than just an action. It's a way to build strong relationships and communities. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Professor Araya. It was very interesting talk and a new idea of using blockchain and a new social impact. I think that way we can create the new use of the blockchain. So now I would like to open the floor for the questions. So I think many of you may have questions. Can you please raise your hand? Sam, first. And after that, maybe Sakib, you can line up, please.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. Quite interesting. We never thought of the gift economy. We always thought that our parents were there to take care of us and whatever existed in the social environment. Now, is your social credit recognized by your government?
Sure, it's public data, and everyone can access.
So if you have got a good social credit and if you make an application or maybe you stand for elections, is that going to influence?
Yeah, we can analyze the history of the persons of giving, and yeah, using some AI analysts. Yeah, they can have some reports on what he is and what party participating.
Yeah.
But
The other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that I see is that at the moment you have confined it to social interactions, but you know there are corporates that give a lot of money and in return they get tax breaks and things like that. Have you thought about that side of gift giving? Like, you know, corporate organizations, they give millions to charity, and in return they can claim it within the taxation system.
Yeah. I've not mentioned that, but the interpretation of the history from now on, no. Everyone can participate in that economy. That we cannot accept some companies or some. So this act is not giving. We cannot determine whether gift or not.
Okay.
So there are gratitude to others. That means there was a gift. That's history. But the interpretation of the history is open. Who she is not determined by someone, because the history itself is history as an event. So we can someone interpreted the history, blah blah blah. She is nearly a terrorist or something, because she has a friend of some blah blah blah. But it's an interpretation. So we need to verify that interpretation. If someone insists that the interpretation is right, so yeah, that is the same thing I think with blockchain data.
Okay, thank you. I will talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. So we have 3 more questions, I see. So, but make it short because of our time limitation. So please, next here.
Yeah, I have 2 really quick questions. One is that which areas do you see this platform like really making an impact? Or whether do you see this as a area agnostic approach? And the second question is that, so in the history of humanity, most people are essentially selfish. At least that's economics, like that's what economics has taught us. So what other incentives do you have in your platform to kind of compel other people to continue gift giving?
Thank you for the question. It's a very important question, I think. The field is, I think, I have said to the previous questions that the people want to use, can use. So every section or every community or even in the company or the government can use this, can participate in the gift economy. So, and the selfish person for the, the point is the gift economy. The selfish act is to give to others because there are incentives. So people want to make some social credit, and based on their own desire. So it's a selfish act, but make economy more generous, I think.
Just one
Right.
follow-up question. Have you tried scaling it up, and how far have you scaled it up? Like how many people does it, like, can it sustain?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to spread all over the world, but this platform is very weak, and there's a limit of the records. And our project made APIs to interact with the blockchain, and so everyone can use, software party can use. So,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your lecture. And so what you said was the transparent record of giving fosters trust and recognition. So what I want to ask is it really transparent? Because we can be we can be transparent in the manner that we really like the users give that hurt or something to that others as a gratitude, but if they, in a sense that if they manage to be like that, then is it really transparent?
I want to add more. So if it becomes social capital, though it's not financial loss for the person who is giving, so it may be, falsified intentionally, that I gave you some point you gave me. So that way, so how can we actually trust? So I think that is your question, right? Yeah. Misuse.
Okay.
I
have skipped the indicators of the heart. So that is that was in Japanese. So some criteria people can detect that was forced gratitude or not. So we maybe I'm later we can interpret that indicate, but it's not forced to take some meaning. We can interpret some this indicator. So my point is so it may be not transparent, that will be forced, but we can detect that gratitude is forced. If we can detect that history, so we can interpret that the history.
Thank you.
Okay, the last one.
Hello. Thank you for your talk today. My name is Joshua from Aomori University.
Very short.
Just one point of clarification and a question. So my clarification is the idea of the gift economy really having a record of gratitude would prove your trustworthiness? Am I getting that correct? Yeah? Okay, so a follow-up question to that, and I know you specialize in philosophy, so I'd like to ask a philosophical question. What is your definition of trust then, right? So for me, trust is a form of courage, right? It's the whole point of it is you do not know the person, you don't have any proof of their trustworthiness, which is why you sort of extend a hand in courage, right? So just a philosophical question. What do you mean by trust? Or what is your definition of trust?
That's very good questions. I'm not. I use that was in and without definitions. It may. I mean the trust is history itself. But history can make trust, but that trust is subjective, so will be subjective. But people see the history, people can decide whether she is trusted person or trustworthy person or someone. Yeah, like that. So sorry for the without definitions.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's subjective, so it can be redefined. So that's the point. I think so, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, the last question, sure.
Thank you, Professor. I read this book by Adam Grant, Give and Take. Adam Grant, Give and Take, and there's this kind of concept of a platform where people come to give and also take. But what they were doing was that they made it in such a way people do not exploit the platform, where people will come and just take from the platform, but they don't give to the platform. So how is this app going to be? Is it going to keep record of people who only take but don't give? So that maybe with some time they can be taken out of the platform so that we have only givers of the platform, not givers and takers. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the history, we can read the history, and the taker can be detected easily. And so we don't need to give to the suspicious persons. That's no false. Yes, that's free gifts always. So we can select to who I want to give. So the taker, the history of taker, so sorry for that. I cannot give you for you. So I can choose the persons.
Thank you. So the last question,
Hello?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think gift economy 2.0 in terms of society 5.0 is very relevant. I have a question for an organization like APNG to implement this kind of trust system. What could be, the process if it's possible to use your system, on board APNG? What could be the possibility?
So it's individual, your system, but
Yeah,
he's asking about like a community.
Yeah,
right?
so we can make community accounts and register the community members. So yeah, I will explain later. So
I think if we can collaborate on that, it's mutual, benefit for APNG and your system as well for the feedback.
Yeah. So thank you. So, it's very good. Glad to.
Thank you, Professor Araya, for your nice presentation. I think many of you have many other questions, so you can find him and ask your question during the lunch time. So now, once again, one great applause for all the speakers for the morning session, all three great speakers. Thank you.